Welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital. President Buhari to inaugurate Zuba Estate Tuesday. Organized Labour seeks review of retirement age for public servants. We begin the news this afternoon with Nigeria's leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, who will be performing the official opening of the Zuba Estate built by the Federal Housing Authority, which consists of 746 housing units, on Tuesday. The Zuba Mass Housing Estate is a pilot project for infrastructure such as roads and drains, external water distribution network, electricity, external reticulation, perimeter fence work, 3 water stations, injector transformers, civil works and servicing of blocks with underground cables. Away from that, the federal government is reportedly set to proceed with its implementation of a 5% excise duty tax on mobile telephone services, fixed telephone and internet services. This is despite a recent communication by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, that the government has exempted the telecoms sector from excise duty tax. According to the Minister, the information will likely adversely affect the sector if the government fails to take any precaution. Recall that in September last year, the federal government suspended the proposed excise duty on telecom. Time, the chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has said that the mission in Egypt was making arrangements for the payment of visa fees for stranded Nigerians at the border of the country. Dabiri Erewa, who made this call, said Nigerians at the Egypt border. Dabiri Erewa said the mission has made arrangements to pay $9 per person and $25 visa fees. Recall that the federal government had on Friday called on relevant authorities along contiguous borders of Sudan to create a humane condition for about 7,000 nationals, including Nigerians, to have unfettered access to their various destinations.
As well. So we've been able to overcome a number of challenges and have started the process, which we're very happy about. We've secured a significant number of luxurious buses because the distances are quite considerable, and so we've started the process, and it'll take maybe a couple of days to evacuate where.
Elsewhere, the federal government has blamed heavy rainfall and gridlock for the delay in completing the reconstruction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Newsman Kuti assured motorists plying the routes that the federal government was determined to complete the project, but cannot give an exact date due to the weather. From the Red Chambers, Senate has indicated the Bank of Agriculture in Kaduna over a 3.2 billion naira loan disbursed to 10 vendors to purchase tractors and other equipment for allocation to end users. The indictment was a sequel to the 2016 report of the Auditor General of the Federation, considered by the Senate Public Account Committee chaired by Matthew Ohogide. Reports say after an investigation by the committee, the management of the bank was indicted for being unable to account for 3.2 billion naira disbursed to 10 vendors out of the 3.6 billion naira provided in 2015 by the federal government through the bank. The Senate, after the adoption of the report of the Committee Acts of Agriculture, to which the 3.2 billion naira was disbursed. In a separate development, the presidency has released its 90-page fact sheet chronicling the high point of President Muhammadu Buhari-led government as it winds down on May 29th. According to a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the fact sheet highlighted the 37 bills signed into law, 12 executive orders, several infrastructure projects, bilateral agreement, fiscal reforms, as well as the appointment and election of eminent Nigerians into the leadership of several global organizations. The fact sheet further highlighted other infrastructural gains and is still constructing over 961 kilometers stretch of rail lines crisscrossing the nation. It further stated that the launch of a new national 5G policy in 2021 and the successful licensing of 2 private companies to roll out 5G nationally, adding that Nigeria's 5G spectrum auction has generated $547 million in license fees. In another development, organized labor has demanded the review of retirement age for all Public Day celebration with the theme Workers' Rights and Socio-Economic Justice. According to reports, the organized labor also demanded that an independent panel be set up to investigate the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, and his team over the conduct of the 2023 general elections. The body demanded an investigation into the sending of 12 billion naira by the Ministry of Aviation to buy 10 fire trucks. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) in Akwa Ibom, Sonny James, who gave the charge while speaking with newsmen, said all issues affecting workers in the state would be tabled before the state government at the event. According to him, the NLC had extracted commitments from the incoming governor on prioritizing issues affecting workers in the state. The event, which is currently ongoing, is in celebration of the workers and their numerous contributions to nation building. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of the Teachers. Away from that, the National Executive Council (NEC) of Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG) has called on the federal government to ensure that the local refineries are put into full operation before an important policy such as the removal of petrol subsidy will be taken in the interest of the generality of Nigerians. The union, in a statement jointly signed by the National President and Secretary NUPENG, in totality the anti-union behavior and employment tactics of some indigenous and multinational employers who have turned the Nigeria local content law into ambit of slavery and precarious employment rather than a source of fulfilling employment and empowerment for teeming qualified young Nigerians. Haulage of petroleum products by some security agents, especially among the Nigerian Army Anti-Bunkering Task Force operating in the South-South region of the country. On education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, today says it would commence the release of result of the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Board on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. This was contained in the minutes of an emergency management meeting held in Abuja. In the minute, which was made available to newsmen, the board noted that the delay in the release of result was due to the fact that it had been rescheduled for mop-up examinations. In Africa, Egypt has given Nigeria stringent conditions for stranded Niger for the students 3 days after their arrival. He also stated that the Egyptian authorities had insisted on clearing all the 637 Nigerians before they could be allowed entry into their country. He explained that the federal government might move the students to Port Sudan for evacuation if Egypt delayed further. Meanwhile, in a message sent by Nigerian ambassador to Egypt, Noura Rimi, the approval to be granted for the evacuation of Nigerians through Egypt or citizens depart the border, they will be conveyed directly to the designated airport. Others are a comprehensive list of the evacuees with passport numbers, valid travel documents, the presence of Nigerian government officials at the point of embarkation, and standby buses that will immediately convey them to the airport. Now to Africa, where airstrikes have reportedly pounded Sudan's capital, Khartoum, despite a truce aimed at allowing civilians to flee. Reports say the fighting intensified even as the warring sides said they would extend the truce by another 3 days. According to report, Army Commander Abdel Al-Burhan and rapid support agreed to an extended humanitarian truce, which did not hold after intensive diplomatic efforts by neighboring countries. However, the army said it remains unclear on what they will do in their next stage of the deal with US and Saudi mediation. On a foreign scene, France's President Emmanuel Macron is reportedly facing more nationwide protests today as he seeks to steer the country on from a divisive pension law that has sparked anger hands to his second mandate. Unions and the oppositions are hoping for a mass turnout at the May Day rallies to continue expressing their dissatisfaction on the pension overhaul. Recall that last month he signed law to raise the nurses in England walked out today with some critical services due to be hit for the first time. The industrial action is the latest stoppage in an increasingly bitter dispute with the government over pay and conditions. Recall that the 28 reject the 5% government pay increase offer. RCN General Secretary Pat Collin called for the Health Minister Steve Barclay to come back around the table and put a better offer on the table. Meanwhile, unions representing all the healthcare workers, including Unison and the GMB, have voted in favor of the government's pay offer, while Unite and the RCN have voted against it. Still to come in the news. And many thanks for staying with us. On our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has dismissed reports that it is considering the withdrawal of the redesigned 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes from circulation. The Apex Bank's acting director of corporate communications, Issa, the 3 newly redesigned banknotes. The statement was a reaction to a viral news on social media that the Apex Bank was contemplating the withdrawal of the recently redesigned 1,000, 500, and 200 naira currency banknotes from circulation. As Nigerians make huge withdrawals from deposit money banks. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, shows that demand deposit dropped from 20.12 trillion naira in January 2023 to 19.91 trillion naira by March. According to the Corporate Finance Institute, demand deposit is money deposited into a bank account with funds that can be withdrawn on demand at any time. It noted that the depositor would typically use demand deposit funds to pay everyday expenses longer and have a lower risk of dying from chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, liver, and endometrial cancer. Oloyede, who is also the former director of nutrition services in Osun State, notes this. He said this while reacting to findings from new research, which suggested that consuming coffee, water, and tea can help reduce the risk of early death from adults with diabetes. According to Dr. Oloyede, studies have shown that coffee drinkers live longer, liver and endometrial cancers, Parkinson's disease, and depression. He advised people to take 3 to 4 cups, but not more than 400 milligrams consumption of caffeine. Predispose them to risk of developing heart disease, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. According to them, many of the fruit juices sold in markets are packed with sugar, including those with claims of no sugar or additive added. The expert noted that lots of children were once associated with only adults. Meanwhile, a consultant pediatric hematologist and oncologist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idi Araba Edamisan Timiye, said sugary drinks, urging mothers to feed their children with foods and drinks that have high nutritional benefit and not junks. In sports, Paris Saint-Germain are having Achraf Hakimi sent off in the first half. Lorient were already ahead through Enzo Lefi's earlier goal at the Parc des Princes before Hakimi was dismissed for a second yellow card inside the opening 20 minutes. Kylian Mbappe equalized for the home side and found wrongly thinking the referee had blown for a free kick. Meanwhile, PSG coach Christophe Galtier described the second half of the season as very average, adding that too many players seemed distracted and called Hakimi's second yellow card really stupid. And sports also, Diego Jota's injury time winner gave Liverpool a dramatic victory at Anfield after Tottenham looked on course to Newcastle United and swiftly found themselves 3 goals adrift at Anfield as Liverpool delivered an opening salvo that left them chasing what looked like a lost cause. Instead, when former Everton striker Richarlison headed his first Premier League goal of the season and stopped him for Liverpool. Liverpool moved up to 5th to retain slim hopes of Champions League football, but earlier victories for Manchester United and Newcastle United make this an increasingly long shot. On our entertainment news, award-winning Nigerian singer joining celebrities such as Steve Winwood, DJ Petitong, Lang Lang, Lucy, Paloma Faith, and Oli Mars to thrill guests at the coronation concert. Reports say she is the first and only Nigerian artist to receive an invitation to perform at a foreign royal coronation ceremony. King Charles III, who is May 6, 2023, at Westminster Abbey. The coronation concert and big launch will take place on Sunday, May 7, 2023. Assuring her of his love, the singer took to his Twitter handle to hail his wife, attaching a picture of them both. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel.